everyone, it's GT time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Hello, listeners. I like Batman.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey.
And the super seat this week, Ben Moore.
Hello.
And making this all happen, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Brandon, great intro this week.
Yeah. I'm compensating because I'm tired. I've been staying up late.
So you're gonna be bubbly. You're gonna be bubbly for the rest of the show.
Yeah, and if we're talking about Batman, I will.
Ben, as you are in the super seat, we have a question for you in particular.
Let's do it.
What is your favorite E3 memory of all time?
Yeah, so I saw this email this morning. I didn't put in an incredible amount of thought.
We don't want that. We want your first impression.
All right. It's a morbid answer.
Okay.
It shouldn't be my favorite E3 memory, but the Konami E3 2010 press conference.
Yeah.
Wow. It will never be topped for me. Like, there's no game that you can announce that will be better than that, because it was witnessing a company like self-destruct in the weirdest way. I derived so much pleasure from it, but at the same time, much like the Nintendo 2008 press conference, I thought, that's it. Like, video games are done. Like, this is doomsday. This is this luchador and this guy doing the never dead head trick. Like, these are signs of the apocalypse.
A very long dancing demonstration, I remember.
Yep. And
Your body's a controller.
Yeah.
the guy got way too enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
He
Well,
made it weirder than it needed to be.
What's crazy about that, though, is still, like, when you look at that, they actually had, like, whether they're good or not, they had a lot of games to talk about. And this year they had Pez and Metal Gear. It's kind of
Nice.
depressing.
I would take those two games over all the games they showed that other year.
Well, it's true.
Oh, but it's so good.
Was that also Rock Revolution, where like they failed at their own game?
No, that
Oh.
was in 2010.
Oh,
I think that was
okay.
earlier.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brandon. What?
Well, it's just so, like, E3 is like a gladiator arena, and like that press conference was like the guy getting decapitated and then having his insides munched out by a lion. And you're just like, yes. It's like, you just want it to get worse, and that's why. And it's funny because I think the kind of the mass humiliation will always hit so much better than just that one moment. That one individual moment that you remember like being so shocking, or so frustrating or so like embarrassing. But it's like when you just have a string of them. There was like 8 different things.
Yeah. And what made it even better is it seemed like Tak Fuji knew that it was just this absolute train wreck and reveled in it.
Yeah.
Just like loved that it was blowing up.
He was throwing some tires onto the fire. Yeah, it was absolutely.
I mean, even years later, he referenced that stuff. He's totally boned into it.
Yeah.
I'm worried that because of that press conference, we will never see something like that again. Like, that press conference made other train wrecks less likely.
But you would have thought that after the Activision conference in 2007 and then the Konami conference.
But Activision was just one guy. That was a huge difference. Activision was one guy derailing the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was actually it's actually painful to watch. Like, whereas Konami, I love watching that, because it just keeps getting better and better. By the time you get to Silent Hill, it's like, I'm done. I can't.
Well, the Activision one I can see some logic in, because it's like, okay, we think Jamie Kennedy is a cool guy that likes games that will connect with this demographic. Like, you can see some suit figuring that stuff out. I don't know how the Konami press conference came to be. It's magical. Like, no one sat in a room and said, this is a good I right?
And I think I missed the luchadors. I think when like Marco was making the like montage of it, and I saw them just like slapping each other, I was like, how did I miss that? Wow. I was clearly distracted when that happened.
Yeah, that is
a gem.
That's a fine favorite memory.
Yeah.
An E3 that may never be again.
Nothing personal to Ben himself.
Yeah.
Nothing that no one he met one-on-one.
Yeah.
Literally, that experience that we all shared together just trumped everything.
Yeah.
That works for me. I love that. Where were you watching it?
In my college apartment.
So
with friends.
Was it on TV at that point?
No.
No, I was
okay.
I was streaming it,
Cool.
I believe.
Konami was definitely not on TV.
Okay. I feel like G4 aired them all. Do you know what I mean? I feel like G4, it didn't matter how much expensive it was. Like, Spike was like, our time's expensive, but G4 is just like, yeah, we'll show everything. Isn't that
Don't
how
remember.
that was? Okay, correct us next week. Speaking of corrections, let's talk about corrections. Start corrections music, please. Last week, we definitely got to apologize for how out of sync the audio became. after 20 minutes into our podcast. So if you were watching that, if that was a video, probably very annoying to watch, and we apologize for that. Probably won't happen again.
Well,
Let's keep it synced, all right?
we
keep
don't
it synced,
actually.
okay?
We don't actually know. It's a bug that happened in recording. Yeah.
I think it happens after you stream the TriCaster for a bunch of hours and then record things. The sync gets weird.
Yeah.
That's the theory anyway.
That's a decent theory. It came after like 10 hours of streaming online, and we
Yeah.
just hopped right into it. That's probably what happened. There is no Kingdom Hearts game on the Vita. That's on the PSP.
Yeah, and the bad thing is I was actually in my mind having this conversation and like, wait, was that actually on the Vita? Like, well, it's not that old, right? So like, I could have corrected myself, but I didn't.
You have to correct yourself, Blood, or else you have to take up time the next week. They got to hear the songs.
Yeah.
You got to be on top of that. Xbox One backwards compatibility. I guess I have to be more specific about this. I said you needed the disc. Of course, I didn't think the Xbox One is reading the disc, but it needs to be there in order to authenticate it. Nope. Authenticate it. But I did neglect to mention that you can buy games digitally. You can buy Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One, and you don't need a disc in
Well,
there.
what they said is they would
obviously.
just pop into your library when they become available too.
Yeah, that is pretty darn cool. Games that require Kinect and USB accessories will not work. Someone wanted me to state. End corrections music.
That's not bad for corrections.
Yeah, it's
all
not
very,
bad.
all very technical. Lots of equipment-based stuff.
Yeah.
No one was insulted.
For a live show too.
For a live
Not
show.
that many corrections.
Yeah, we should do it live every week.
Yeah. Pressure. The heat is on.
Also, while we're in the corrections segment, we don't need the corrections music, but I did lose a side bet. I made a bet. I was so certain that when Roy was finally announced, Nintendo would talk about the Smash Bros. Popularity contest thing, and they would be like, well, we saw Roy pop up a lot, even though it was a lie. They didn't lie. They didn't mention that thing once. Brandon knew they wouldn't.
I believed in Nintendo
They did
for
mention.
once.
They did mention that they weren't going to mention NX.
Yes.
Right.
So, Brandon, the terms of this bet, and you picked this, man. This was your weird terms. You have to buy me the worst amiibo. Those are your words. And then I have to feature that amiibo in every video I'm in for a month.
Sweet. So what is the worst amiibo?
That's up to you, man.
Is that up to? Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, how do we determine that?
Well, hopefully it's not rare. I would just go to Walmart and see which one has the most
Yeah.
on the shelf.
That's probably the right way to do it. That's the worst one.
Good luck finding a Walmart in LA.
Oh, that's true.
oh
You'd
my
have to go to GameStop or something here.
I think
Unless you wanna go to
Smash
Crenshaw.
Brothers Luigi is the one I hate the most.
What? Wow.
Who are you?
He's like
Brutal.
leaning.
God.
Oh, that's a bad amiibo. He's
Yeah,
right.
it
It's a
is,
bad
like-
amiibo. And he's just got like plastic under his crotch propping him up.
I feel like all the Smash Brothers ones had really bizarre
'Cause they're all, like,
poses.
super
Yeah, their
action-y.
poses
Wait,
are
so
really
you're just saying
weird.
they're amiibo. You have no problem with Smash Brothers Luigi.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Strictly-
Okay.
I'm talking about figures, bro.
Strictly
Okay,
amiibo
all right.
talk here.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Ben checked out and he popped in at the wrong moment.
Real defensive about Luigi there.
Brandon, what? You know how we do trailer score? We should do figure score. We should take
I really- yeah.
an Infinity
Yeah,
or
yeah.
an Amiibo, and we should just rate that thing.
I love this idea so
Well,
much.
Infinity's
Please
up
do
to
this,
100 now.
Kyle.
I really want to do the top
Please.
100
yes.
for Infinity.
Please.
We got to do this.
What
This would be
would
such
be-
a fun show. And
We'd
take
have
it
to
so
get
serious.
them all, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I
Jones
want to
already
take.
has
I
all
really
the
want to take
Infinities.
amiibos way too seriously.
Yeah.
That sounds super fun.
And
you
just, like-
realize this is just an excuse for Ben to spend more money on amiibos.
I don't
You're
mind it.
enabling his addiction.
I don't need an excuse.
Oh God.
So we should move on to news. We should move on to actual show. Oh man, I got to be honest, everyone. We have a lot of like news that's like drama this week. We got a lot of like, oh, this sucks.
It's kind of a depressing slate.
I guess that's what happens the week after E3 is there's no game announcements. There was one game announcement. I didn't want to bring it up because it sucks so much. It's Project Cars 2, which that game just came out.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, help us fund the sequel. It's like, oh, that feels dirty. Anyway, let's talk about Destiny's expansion. Had a rough week. Should I? Let me go through part of this.
It's
rough
complicated.
Week. It's very complicated. So it's called The Taken King, and it was, I guess, debuted at E3, right? That was
Yeah.
the official unveiling of The Taken King. So the way you can buy The Taken King is several ways, but there is a collector's edition of this game. The collector's edition includes Destiny and the original 2 DLC expansions and The Taken King. So the only way to get a collector's edition of The Taken King is to get all those other games combined with it for
$80.
80 US dollars. Yes. That's okay. Hey, that's fine. Here's the thing. That includes some exclusive items for just the people who buy that. Or at least that's how it was. And very interesting interview with the Eurogamer with the creative director of The Taken King, Luke Smith.
You're doing it?
He defended it in the smuggest way possible. You know, we're comfortable with our pricing. We think people will be excited to spend money on this thing.
He told the interviewer, if I showed you the new emotes right now, you would throw money at the screen.
Yeah, I guess I should make it clear, too, what the exclusive content is. It's emotes, it's armor, 3 class-specific emotes, 3 armor shaders, and 3 exotic class items with XP bonuses. We're going to be throwing our money at the screen.
And you might say to yourself, like, oh, whatever, that stuff is totally cosmetic, it doesn't matter. But Destiny is a game about getting stuff and showing it off.
Well,
that's it. That's what it is. And so the people that are super into it care about those things. So to tell the people that love your game the most, that care about that stuff the most, that they can't... I'm sorry, I'm going off already, and I know you're still
No, this is good, because this is what happened. Everyone was very mad at Luke Smith. And so 2 days later, he wrote an apology, an official apology. He called himself an asshat. That's his own descriptor. So now, if you want those exclusive items that were previously exclusive to the collector's edition, you can just buy them for $20.
Hosanna.
What is Hosanna?
It means like hallelujah.
Oh, sure. Hosanna. So that's the fix. All right, everybody. All right, panel. Let's dig into this. Is everything okay with Destiny?
No.
No, it's still that price point feels kind of out of whack.
The $20.
I mean, I'm not a Destiny player, but that feels like a
In a
lot
way-
for that stuff.
In a way, if you look at it, it's 50% off, and that's still terrible. Because
Sure.
you paid $40 for the expansion, and then before you were paying $40 for 3 dance emotes. Now you're paying $20 for 3 dance emotes. Also, XP at higher levels doesn't really do anything.
I think
so
it's
that's
a
really weird.
I think it's a 10% boost.
Right, but that does it'll upgrade your guns faster. You don't use XP to level up. After
what do you
level
use to
20.
level up?
You need light. You need equipment.
Oh, so XP boost won't work on light?
It's basically it just ups your guns real quick. It's pointless.
But
Wow.
you need supplies to even level your guns up, so you can have XP and then have your guns hit a cap and then not have the supplies to level the gun up. So
Yeah.
you can't do anything.
Yeah, so like a lot of the pricing stuff just gets really weird because it's like I kind of understand that, like, okay, if you're gonna have this bundle for new people to jump in and have all this stuff, like, yeah, you can't go to like $100 price point, you know. So like, you know, having an $80 bundle, like that's kind of like, okay, you're buying all this stuff together and you're discounting it, but at the same time, it's like there's no way like those 9 items are worth $20.
The weird thing too is because about a week ago, like before all this happened, I was reading a story that they were giving the white glove experience to Destiny VIPs, meaning people who had, what was it? It was like you had to have reached level 30 and or purchased both expansions and reached level 30 by whatever date, and then you would get like a sparrow and a shader and some other stuff. Is that a separate thing?
That's a separate thing.
Okay,
so
that's a separate thing.
I was reading the whole post on Bungie. They want year oneers to know that they are special. And the way they describe it is really funny. It's kind of like the way Ben was describing it, in that they want you to be able to wear clothes that no one else can get. And they're just like, people will know that you were there year one if you're wearing these clothes. So that's still coming. People will still get that.
Weird.
It's weird. It's all weird stuff.
But all of this stuff should be on its own in the store. There should be a constant influx of this stuff from Bungie into the game. You know, like, we shouldn't even be talking about like, oh, these weird special emotes are just locked into this one thing, because like there's emotes coming at me constantly. There's different, things to color my gear and stuff like that just happening all the time. It's always available in the store. It seems weird to me, the game like Destiny, of just like, it's such a big deal now that we're getting 3 emotes. It's like, are we that starved for emotes in this game? That's insane.
Like,
They've never changed them.
Right.
like,
So that's a big thing to me, that you're making such a big deal. You're you're packaging this in such a way that it's like, I want that so bad. When you have something like a Lego game, like Lego Avengers, I'll just be like, oh, here's some extra stuff. It's like, it's a kind of game where you sign back in, and then like, oh, look at all the stuff they added. I missed this because these little tiny pockets of DLC, that are just supposed to supplement this experience in an easy cosmetic way. And I guess there's just so much that they're not doing for this game that people are just so hungry for this stuff.
I feel like Destiny has been overpriced for way too long, right? So we get the base Destiny game, and the general consensus is, man, this isn't as good as it could have been. And then we get these 2 DLCs that are $20 a piece. Okay, so if you get the base game for $60, then you get both of these. You're at $100. From my understanding, both of those DLCs were largely disappointing, right? So
The
people are
first
like,
one especially.
yeah. So people are like, okay, let's look to the Taken King, which doubles the price of the 2 other DLCs that you had. You can't. They do this whole collector's edition debacle. And then they apologize by asking you to spend more money. And then they announce the Red Bull stuff where it's like, here's this exclusive stuff if you feel like a scumbag and go out there and buy Red Bull and drink this. And people will say to me, Ben, you've spent exactly $1 billion in Hearthstone. You have no right to criticize. Here's the difference.
Nice.
Here's the difference.
Here we
and
go.
This is like this is it for me with Destiny. I have gotten infinite satisfaction out of Hearthstone. Before spending a single cent in Hearthstone, I felt like it was a complete game that was super well done, that I didn't have any issues with. So I felt good spending money on it, okay? Every single time I play Destiny, which I just did 2 weeks ago, I always wish it was just better. Like, every time I play Destiny, I'm like, yeah, this just isn't good enough. I would feel bad spending a lot of money on this.
So we should talk about Red Bull. Let's talk about what.
Yeah, explain that. I missed this.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah. Well, Kyle will just have all the codes for us because he's always drinking the Red Bulls.
If anyone
Yeah.
needs any Red Bull codes, I got the hookups for you. So here's the promotion. Red Bull is offering 2 things with a can. One is access to an exclusive quest.
A special can, not just any can.
No, I think it's just. Well, you're right.
Gotta find that Destiny Red Bull.
Gotta get that Destiny Red Bull, which apparently is launching in 7-Eleven. I don't know if anywhere else.
So it's a double exclusive.
It's 7-Eleven in July, and then other outlets in August. Okay, so it's a July exclusive.
to 7-Eleven.
so complicated. It's so funny.
Wow.
And then when the Taken King launches, you'll be able to get a 4-pack at Walmart, which will have a bigger experience boost. Because here's what you get with your can. You get a code that gives you 50% boost in XP for a half hour, and you also get the exclusive quest.
So, but they give any details on the quest?
No, it's really funny buzzwords, like the quest is about speed, camaraderie, action.
See, because here's the thing.
man.
When they do this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like people are complaining now because they don't know what it is, and they're just like, they're giving you a quest and I have to buy Red. But I mean, a lot of times when they do this kind of stuff, it's just total marketing bullcrap. It's like you could be riding on a Red Bull Sparrow or something dumb, like it's like you just don't want to have anything to do with it.
I should mention, just to cover all the facts, that exclusive quest will become non-exclusive on January 1st, 2016, and then anyone can play the Red Bull quest.
I just don't understand this trend of punishing the people that love your game the most. Like, if I've been that kind of person that loves a game so completely that I want everything. Like, anything you give me, I will take. And it's cool to be that way sometimes. Like, once in a while, you find that game that just clicks with you. And to see them just basically beat you to death if you love their game so much, like, it's just
that's the thing about the
disgusting.
collector's edition is that you're getting these brand new emotes. It's like, oh, finally we're gonna appease the fan base by giving them more creative options to express themselves. But the fan base isn't getting this because they already have the game.
Yeah.
Like, we're giving this brand new stuff that's meant to like freshen up the experience to people who had just started playing the game for the first time. So like, why do I care if I get 3 new emotes? I just started playing. All the emotes are new to me.
You won't know the difference.
To me,
Yeah.
I think what happened, honestly, because like the Red Bull thing and the collector's edition debacle, I think that they had a big meeting where they're like, we got to get new people in with the Taken King. It's all about new people.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is to have experience boosters and stuff like that. Like, that
Right.
doesn't matter to veterans. That's all just like, get me to level 20.
Yeah, you're
like,
playing catch up.
players. Yeah, so like I feel like they really made a huge push on getting new people and forgot the people that play it.
Yeah, I feel like oddly enough, I feel like this is a moment where some Activision needs to learn a little bit from Nintendo, because you saw with like the Mario Kart DLC, like if you bought multiple, like you get discounts, you know, and I think that for something like this, where you know you've got people that are very dedicated to the game, if they're gonna buy everything, you need to start having stacking discounts. You know, so like the more that you buy, the more discounts that you get on the base price, because otherwise, yeah, if you just go out and buy the Taken King, you know, that bundle that's coming out, you get everything way cheaper than the people that bought the game from day one and have bought everything as soon as it came out.
Or some kind of subscription buy-in where you just get it. You're just like, I'm just signing into Destiny. I you know, like I'll pay $10 a month or whatever, and then I just get. If you ever make anything, I get it for free every single time. And I can't say that would work out, that the numbers would work out, because I don't work at Activision. Like, I'm not pumping out all their content. But
well, and that's the thing too, from the business perspective. It's like, well, yeah, those are the whales. We'll just have them buy it. You know, we'll get the money out of them. They'll do it no matter what.
But you look at like the one thing from the press release that really struck me, that they pointed out, that they're like, this is a big deal too, because Red Bull has never done this before. This is actually the first time any brand of any type, whether it's country music to the Super Bowl, you know, this is the first time this has ever appeared on a Red Bull can. And it's like, that's a thing that people talk about. That's like a big deal. That's a point. Someone like wrote that sentence, and is proud of that. That's like a huge, you know, like they're actually sitting in the conference room talking about the future of Destiny. And this is a major point that's coming up, where it's just like, God, that'll be a nice buy, you know, because like no one's ever done that. And that'll be an interesting forward thinking. Whoever idea that was to make this Red Bull happen, at the end of the year, when his boss is looking at his review for the year, that'll be something that was like it being progressive thinking in video games.
They have no idea.
You know, that'll be like, oh, remember that Red Bull deal that Phil did back in the, that was really
great. Everyone loved it.
That was so progressive. You know, I got that guy. It's really, that's going places. You know,
that's to me, that's the weirdest thing about Destiny too, because I don't like the dev diary that we used for B-roll during GT Live the other day. Like the whole last half of it is all the devs being like, and we're in the forums and we're on Reddit and we're on NeoGAF and we're reading all these things and we know what the people are saying and stuff like that, and they're like trying so hard to convince you that they have their finger on the pulse of the gamers that are playing Destiny, you know, but then like all their decisions are clearly being made by the Activision suits, and even the game design choices, like if you talk to anyone who's ever played Destiny, all of them, 100% of them, you would know like how to fix this game, you know.
No, how do you fix this game?
You have meaningful story, you have things that matter, you have quests that aren't just the same thing backwards, you have meaningful progression, you don't charge $10 too much for everything you put out. You have, you know, like it's innumerable ways to change this game for the better, and they just don't do it.
You know what the most upsetting thing is? And this is just me theorizing.
Sure.
Okay? In a weird way, in the most disgusting way, I think a lot of this stuff is only helping Destiny. Because when I think about Destiny, we haven't stopped talking about it since it came out. The worst thing that can happen to a game, the absolute worst thing, is an evolved situation where it has a debacle and then everyone forgets about it and no one plays it anymore.
Yeah. Where's Far Cry 4 right now?
The best thing that can happen to a game is it can abuse people, and there's still a ton of people playing it, and it's still getting a ton of coverage. Like, Destiny is in people's minds.
Well, I often think of that. Is there like that abuse meter, you know, where they realize like there's it's like you think about it in a simulation game, like playing SimCity, you know, and you see everybody complaining about traffic, and you think like, how far will I let that red bar go up before I do something about it?
Right, and that's the thing.
It's acceptable losses in war, you know. It's just like, this is going to piss off some people, but all those people still drink Red Bull. You know?
SimCity like crossed into the red. Like they abused people a little bit too much. Like Destiny is abusing people just enough that it's upsetting people, so they're talking about it, but the diehards are still playing. Like,
what if it's all intentional? What if they're like, okay, we've got really solid shooting and it's really fun to play with your friends. How much can we crank up the shitty story dial so we don't have to do a lot of work
That's
like,
what I love about Brandon's,
overcharge.
because I think you're talking about playing SimCity,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
we're the people who are willing to punish our citizens like that
Exactly.
certain level.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's intentional.
Yeah. Like
They're choosing
Everybody
to
gets
fuck
there.
Or it's like,
yeah.
playing an RTS. You see
Yeah.
one base go down, and you're like, "Am I going to waste time defending that base, or am I
No.
just going to accept that as a loss and move on?"
And when Destiny finally does something right,
Yeah.
and like fixes all the problems, they'll be heroes. They'll be lauded as heroes.
Destiny 2.
I just
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. Maybe we can wrap the conversation on this point. Destiny is DLC. That's everything. It's the entire experience. Like that's the model that they built. So what else are we going to complain about? You know, that's like the main point. It doesn't matter what they do or how they attempt to fix it. It's just not gonna. It's not gonna satisfy them.
All right.
And in a
what?
small way, I feel sorry for this guy. that's a
guy's
tough.
kind of a
that's,
dick.
Oh,
that's a-
Luke Smith? No, I
that's a
don't.
tough-
I did not
dick.
feel
in
sorry
in
for
a
him.
very, very small way, just because that's got to be tricky, and especially an event like E3 when you're having the same conversation over and over and over again, and then that one time you say
Even
something
in
off.
that dev diary, he sounds like a smug jerk.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, even from like One Up Yours. You know what I mean? And just like even then, Luke Smith's he's a d-bag. He's like a self-admitted d-bag. You know what I mean? Like that's who he is.
He's an asshat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Ben. I don't want to move on because you have one last thing you want to say. I can see it in your face. What's
I think
going
that's
on?
more than one thing. I think that's everything.
I just can't. I can't handle it anymore, man. Like our entire show today is like how video games are fucking up, and it's like this is not new. This
We're
is
coming
like
down. We're coming down. We had a not huge
Well,
high.
actually, yeah. Here, our next story is actually about somebody like
gaming euphoria. for a
working
whole
to
week.
improve it.
Okay.
Here's what happened this week. Batman Arkham Knight released this week. Performs very well on consoles. Does not perform very well on the PC. Just lots of like frame rate issues. Just chunking. Just performance-wise, basically.
Well, there's that one story where somebody said it just stopped for a second.
Yeah.
Before moving on.
it's an unplayable mess.
Yep. And so on the Warner Brothers interactive message boards, the Rocksteady community person came in and said, hey, we're suspending the sale on PC. You can no longer buy this game on PC. Today, if you want to buy Arkham Knight on PC, you can't. It's gone. Revoked. If you want a refund, you can absolutely get one on Steam. I guess some other PC gaming stores you can also get refunds from. This is crazy.
Can you please tell your NeoGaf story?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's not my story. I'd
Yeah.
have to bring it up
Okay.
because I don't know the person's name. All right, we will.
I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Because we'll have to do research. Because oh gosh, there was somebody on the Warner Brothers PR team who snuck into NeoGaf and was just like saying, "All you guys are crybabies." Ahead of time, when people were complaining about how bad the PC version is, they're just like, the first week of a game's launch is always bad. Just wait for the patch. You know what I mean? And then somebody pointed out, oh, you work for Warner Brothers. Anyway, yeah, so this has been a whole mess. And I think, honestly, it's pretty crazy for Rocksteady to come forward and just say, hey, no, I'm sorry. This is bad. We shouldn't have put this out. Do not buy it. And then just completely revoked it from the store. We should say, before moving forward, that Iron Galaxy did the PC port. Not even Rocksteady themselves, but Rocksteady still claimed responsibility. How do we feel about this?
I think it has to be pretty significant because like we've seen in a way like what that guy said is sort of true. You don't always catch all of those bugs until it goes out to a wide audience.
We've seen buggier launches, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about buggier, but I think what it speaks to is how widespread this is. And that's always the hard thing to gauge because it's really easy for even if 50 people come across some extreme bugs to get spread all over the internet. Everybody sees it. It's like, oh my gosh, look how bad this game is, while everyone else is playing the game fine. Doesn't seem to be the case this time. It seems like this is actually like legitimately how the game runs for a large number of people.
You know what I should do is I'll read a text from my roommate. Do you think this happened because of Steam? The Steam refunds. Do you think that Warner Brothers would not have revoked its sales if the Steam refund system wasn't in place?
Well, the reviews are a huge number of negative reviews as well. So I think both of those certainly played into it.
Yeah, I don't know if those are directly connected. I think there just might be scheduling thing.
Well, and people
It
can
just
actually
almost
give
happened that
money
way.
back now. Get
Right.
money back and
Yeah, which
request
is,
money back.
that's crazy on Steam. Like that just happened, and then like this comes like weeks afterward. It's nice. It's definitely nice that they're losing money right now. They're absolutely losing money. There's a lot of people who won't buy the game again who got it refunded. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I wanted to read a text from my old roommate who actually listens to the show. So hey, Isaac, he bought it on PC, and I was like, hey, does the game work okay for you? He goes, yeah, some slowdown in the Batmobile a bit. My system is beefy enough to not get hit super hard by the issues. So not everybody's having the issues, Blood. If your system is super beefy, you're fine.
But no, that actually has been one of the complaints is people with systems that are super beefy that should be able to just steamroll through this are having these problems.
They're not super beefy. They're not as beefy as Isaac's.
Yeah, where's the beefy?
I think this seems to me to be significant because of the severity, how rampant the bugs are. It would seem something that isn't like associated with a specific quest or like it only happens at this one point in the game, but it just seems like you play it on PC, you're going to run into issues. And so I think that's just because it just seems really big, and I think that's why they reacted. I don't think it was this new policy on Steam. I don't think it was how Rocksteady does business compared to anybody else. I think it was just so huge and prevalent and widespread. That once, the guys at Rocksteady, once everybody like booted up the PC version and was like, oh, okay, yeah, there are. Anybody can check this and
Even
see.
probably the bosses at Warner Brothers.
Right.
And it's just because, like, gosh, pulling a game is actually, like, this is unprecedented. And I don't think the game is unprecedentedly broken. I know we're being real hard on it right now, but I think there's been worse launches.
Well, one of the other things too. Sorry, Ben.
okay.
One of the other things too is that I've yet to review it, but I'm playing it right now. This game's really good. And a lot of people have said some good things about this game.
Yeah.
And it was weird because it was like coming out right after E3, and like we didn't get the game for a while, and so it kind of like smelled like there might be some issues with the game that they know, and so they want to like get out ahead of press basically and like get it in people's hands before like all the bad reviews come out. And then all the reviews came out, and like Polygon gave it a perfect score. Like a lot of these people are saying really good things about the game. So I think that's maybe them being like, we don't want the actual quality of the game and this weird tech glitch. We don't want those two things associated with each other.
Yeah.
We want you to know right
That makes
away
sense to
that
me.
like this is just tech. This is just a weird, stupid thing that happened with this game, and we're completely pulling it just so we don't, we can put our best foot forward and not have those two things associated, so people know that like, no, this is a quality game. It's just this unfortunate thing that's happening. Ben Moore, what are you gonna say?
I asked myself as I was reading these Batman Arkham Knight PC stories, as I often do in situations like this, like how does this happen? How does this happen? If you were to do any sort of QA for any length of time, there's no way, it is impossible that you would not run into these issues if they're as severe as everyone says. But then I realized the most depressing thing of all, it's just totally okay to release a broken game in 2015. It has gotten to the point where it's accepted. People will complain about it, and then there will be a reaction. It's like, oh, okay, please pay us $20 so we can fix this. And then it's okay, and then we just move on until the next broken game comes out. And it's become so prevalent that a couple of times I've complained about a game being broken on Twitter, and somebody will message me back and they're like, yeah, man, it's screwed up, but just wait for the patch. Like that. No.
Yeah, and I mean, but
No.
this is Rocksteady breaking the chain. They finally said, no more. We're not doing this.
Yeah, but it's still reactive, right? Like
Yeah.
that's still the problem. Like yes, they did do the right thing. You're right. That should be recognized that not selling this anymore is correct. But this is so ridiculous that it should not have happened in the first place. We will get at least 3 more stories of a game being totally fucked this year.
Yeah.
Huge games. And we just know it. Like, we just know it's coming. How disgusting is that?
It's awful. It's our modern era. It is absolutely just like this idea that you can patch a thing later, but it's like it's reality now. It's like worked into budgets now. That's the craziest part.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate is probably just not going to work. It's probably just not going to work.
You can't even take the disc out of the plastic. Just like, I can't even load it up.
The funny thing to me is that a lot of the games, I can't remember if Unity was delayed, but like a lot of the games that come out broken were also delayed. So I'm like, why
Batman
not?
was definitely delayed.
Yeah, and
several
I'm just
times.
like, why not just delay it another 2 weeks, fix these bugs instead of putting a patch out 2 weeks after launch and getting a bunch of bad press?
2 weeks costs so much money.
So does revoking a game from Steam because
Yeah.
it's so broken.
Right. I think honestly, this'll create waves. I think there's something a move as big as this, everyone's going to pay attention to. EA is going to pay attention to this. Activision's going to pay attention to this, and they're going to be like, oh, we should take PC more seriously.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing is like PC, requires a lot more QA, but because of sales numbers, they're not given as many resources a lot of times. And as you see, it's like, okay, we're just going to hand this off to somebody else and hope they do the job right. And it doesn't feel like, they're being watched as closely as the main team that's working on the console versions.
Yeah.
Counterpoint.
Okay.
I mean, just something you said made me think of this. If the sales on a certain platform aren't that good for a multi-platform game, should they just say it's console only?
We're talking about that red bar again.
No.
We're talking about that old Destiny red bar. How mad can we make our people and still make a profit?
Right.
Okay, so my counterpoint to that counterpoint is Valkyria Chronicles on PC.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. That was a niche game that did not sell very well on PS3.
Yeah.
Over time, it gained a cult following, and people said, "Hey, this is really good." Okay. Recently, they released it on PC. It worked flawlessly. It was an excellent rendition of the game. Guess what? It sold so well that Sega's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this more." Same thing with Bandai Namco. They took PC more seriously. They're putting more things on PC. They learned from Dark Souls, and they're reaping the rewards of that. I think PC users are willing to spend money on something that works.
Yes. And that's what's crazy is like you're right. That audience is treated dumb, treated like people who like don't know better. Everyone on PC knows better.
Yeah, they're the most informed, and a lot of entities.
Well, and also they're playing on a system that has a variable price point and is generally over $1,000. So like if anybody's got money to spend on games, it's someone who built a gaming PC.
Yeah, take PC seriously. Speaking of weirdly broken games, let's talk about Driveclub. So Driveclub for PlayStation Plus, the PlayStation Plus version is out today. It finally happened. May I remind you, this was meant to be a launch title. This was meant to be a game you would get for free the day you started your PlayStation 4. We got Resogun instead. This is finally here. Here's the thing. It's offline mode only. And the way this is working is that particular people, they're going to roll out the online person by person, phase by phase. I don't know if it's dumb luck, but like you just get access to online mode suddenly. They don't want to give everyone online at the same time.
Kyle,
Yeah.
every single thing that we've talked about on this show is a game being broken in some way or another.
I warned.
But this is interesting though because this is their step to make sure that it's not broken.
Right.
Right. This is their.
But then
this is
they
their-
still messed it up. Like they hit.
Well, somebody pushed the button early,
On Wednesday.
and so people
Sure,
could
we should say
download
that,
and
yeah.
start trying.
The game accidentally launched on Wednesday, officially launched on Thursday.
Accidentally launched?
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. This poor game.
But the game is out, so this is just a different version of it.
Right. This is the free version for people to try it out and find out how much they like it.
So it's a scaled down version. It's not the full version.
Right.
What's really interesting is that you can earn every trophy in the game in this version. You just there's only one country. I think India is the only country that you have tracks in. You have a limited amount of cars, but like all of the modes, all of the features are here in this version.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
It is cool. Yeah.
And to be fair to Driveclub, it had an extremely rough launch, but all of the things that they've added and how much they've improved it, you go and witness people talking about Driveclub now, and they're super enthusiastic about it. If you're gonna mess up a game, at least be as committed to fixing it as they were.
Yeah.
And they have been and
Yeah.
still are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's something I was thinking about it with this and the last conversation. I was trying to think of other games that have sort of come back from the brink, like 14 A Realm Reborn. Or
That's the best possible example.
In a lot of ways, like Diablo 3, like had a
That's a
kind of
good
a
one,
rocky
too.
Yeah.
launch and then like came out on PS4 and is amazing. Like I don't know. There's something to be respected about people who don't give up and keep trying to fix it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes that war pays off and everyone loves the game forever. You know.
Do you think that's possible for this game, Brandon?
No, being tied to the. It depends on how much DLC they do. It depends on how much, which I don't.
They've been doing tons of deals. That's the thing. Like, I can't even keep up with everything that they've added to the.
Do you think that's going to keep up throughout this year as well?
Yeah.
Especially after. I mean, if we get like a bunch of new announcements, for some extra stuff that they're adding, following everybody getting access to the game.
Yeah.
I guess that's just the question I have is kind of like the barrier to entry to getting to the full experience. So now that I get this free version and I'm like, oh, this is great. I want the whole thing. And then what? Do I get a discount or something on the main
That
game,
I
or do I
don't
just
know the
buy
details
it,
of.
and then is that like a new thing I download, or do I just add it on to?
The main game is still going to be its full price, but I do not think that main game is $60. I'll have to look that up.
So yeah,
much does Driveclub cost?
if that's
Ian, can you look
seamless,
that
the
up?
transition
Yeah, I'll
from
look it up.
the
Cool.
free game to the full game, then I think that'll do well for them. Following, like then what? Then I played the game a ton this weekend, and then now I'm like, okay, I want more stuff. When's that stuff coming?
Do you think it was worth launching without with this weird offline thing where we're just kind of rolling out online to particular people?
Yeah, it's funny because it's like a double-edged sword. Like, we're pissed if we get something early and it doesn't work, and then this is potentially frustrating because they're rolling it out. Not everybody's getting access to it. It's not really clear what they're communicating. Yeah. I think that's probably the weirdest thing about it is that I don't know when it's actually happening. You get that weird lottery.
I mean, the cautious and sensitive nature makes sense, but it's been delayed for so long that why couldn't we just roll it out with all of that stuff? And
I think there's
have it
something
work?
to like the way all of those feeds work, and then that's why Driveclub was broken, because it was not broken when I did the review, and then when all the people came into it, then it broke.
Yeah, and then they shut it down. They're like, oh, we got to shut this stuff down.
So and I think that's for whatever reason, it seems to be such a complicated mishmash of things that they do that they have to roll it out in waves and like, okay, add servers, see how it handles it. Okay, it's done. Okay, we'll add some more servers, and I think that's why it's sort of this wait and see of how the traffic actually holds up and affects the game. And I think they also have to be very careful to not break the game for the people who have bought it.
Sure, that makes sense to me actually.
Checking on Amazon.com, the
Sure.
MSRP is $59.99.
Wow.
Currently, it is $28.78 with only 10 left in stock.
How about on the PlayStation Store?
I'll
How much
check
can we
that
buy
as well.
this? Okay. We should move on from Driveclub, though. Let's move on to, well, you're the one who started this conversation. I need the graphic, obviously. My voice, I'm a little sick, I got to be honest. I don't know if I could do the full screen.
It's a quiet one.
Well, you're the one who started this conversation.
That's the I like that one. That's like the real angry spouse one.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one. I didn't want to talk about this.
Angry spouse.
That's the dinner party one. They're at a dinner party and he's just trying to keep it cool. All right. Oh shoot. This one was from GT Live last night. I saw this comment that they wanted us to talk about, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but we will discuss it anyway. Someone wanted us to talk about the rumors this week between Nintendo and Disney and Nintendo and Amazon. Basically, list of rumors from a Spanish site named Revo Gamers, but apparently is good at leaking stuff. Leaked us a bunch of amiibos before, some stuff like that. A bunch of amiibo before. So apparently a consistent source. Anyway, so what was there for Nintendo and Disney? It was basically they're in talks. Nintendo and Disney are talking. They want to make they want Mario in Wreck-It Ralph 2, and Disney wants a game with Mario and Mickey Mouse in it, things like that. Nothing too crazy, nothing that was oh my gosh, this is a huge rumor. The more interesting stuff is with Amazon and Nintendo. Basically, that Amazon would be a marketplace for its Nintendo's new mobile games, and also that the new Nintendo's NX console, would be capable of emulating Android games. And then they would sell Android games on their own NX marketplace and things like that. And so you could play any Android game on the NX. So basically, how do we respond to these rumors? What do they make us feel, and do we think they're legit?
Sorry, go ahead.
For the Android thing, that sort of makes sense to me because so the whole idea with Nintendo going mobile and partnering with DNA and all of that is that they want to be able to reach a broader audience and bring them into their home console and their handheld business. And if they're going to do that, then it only makes sense that you would be able to continue playing the games that you've bought on your mobile device on your home device. So I think that's sort of a kind of a bridge there for people to cross.
Like almost a necessity even.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, I get what you mean there.
So yeah, it's not that like the whole thing would run off of Android or anything like that, but it's that bridge. It's like, oh, you like our games? Well, you can keep playing your games on the TV on our new home console.
Yeah, I mean the language is strange. It very clearly states emulating, like that it wouldn't. It's not actually an Android operating system, but it's emulating it, much like BlackBerry does apparently.
That's a strange term, and maybe that's just kind of, as rumors go, not necessarily the case, but it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Brandon, do you think it'd be a good idea for the NX to have an Android store on it?
Yeah, I don't know how extensive that's going to be because we don't know, right? It'll have that capability. Seems like when they were like TurboGrafx games on the Wii, it just seems like something that like will be enabled. It's something new that they're doing that it isn't currently offered on the Wii U, but I don't see it being like taken over the store or like Amazon having a huge footprint in there. It's just like another option.
It's funny, they're basically just throwing an Ouya into the new NX.
Just tossing one in.
Driveclub 40 on PSN.
Okay.
$24.99 if you have PS Plus.
Ooh, that's a good deal. So to upgrade, it would be free, and then you're like, yeah, I'll throw them $25. Oh, okay. That's not bad. I mean, that's just a little more than 3 emotes and some 3 shaders. And 3
add it up.
XP bonus boosts.
Ben, what were you gonna say?
Do you know what's awesome about Kingdom Hearts?
Huh.
Is I feel like it's one of like the best charades in video game history, right? So Square and Disney had these conversations where like, okay, we're gonna merge. You're better at making games than we are, so we're gonna take our characters and you're gonna mess around with them. And like I can imagine Square is like, yeah, so here's Tron World, or here's Halloween Town, and you see we're using your characters, and that's cool. Nobody at Disney had any idea they were gonna go as off the rails as they did. Like, what's a Xehanort?
Right, like, here's Organization 13.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Right. Like no one at Disney had any idea how just batshit insane they were gonna go, and I wish that could happen. Like in my wildest dreams, I want something like Kingdom Hearts from a Disney Nintendo mashup.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be.
Right.
It's gonna be like Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. It's just gonna be so flat.
Here's your Mickey Mouse amiibo.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually another part of it, is that apparently, much like how Nintendo partnered with Activision to do some some Skylanders stuff, the rumors also that like, hey, there'd be Mario Infinity figures.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They're clearly gonna make Infinity figures that are also amiibo.
Yeah, but like Nintendo's so particular about amiibo that it was like, I don't know if it was. It was weird, like it was breaking down because those two sides were being too particular. Whereas Skylanders just like, yeah, come on, we'll just do this thing where it clicks on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the Skylanders. I love that Donkey Kong and Bowser. By the way, we learned this week that from Game Informer, they had an article about it, that you can only buy those 2 particular amiibo / Skylanders if you buy the whole packs. So if you buy the Wii U pack, that's how you
Starter
get
pack, yeah.
That's how you get Donkey Kong. That's $65. And if you buy the Wii or the 3DS pack, that's how you get Bowser.
Oh.
Whoa.
No, that's 65 or 75.
It's just like
Probably just at
Destiny
launch, and
thing.
then they'll separate them later.
I don't know. There's been no promise about that.
No promise, but they'll
But that's kind of weird, because you would think that people buying the Wii U one would want both.
Yeah. No, sorry. If you want
Are
that
you
Bowser,
kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so actually, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. It's the Wii U version is 75. The Wii version is 75. The 3DS version is 65.
I wonder if Bowser's going to work on another console. Like, I know the Amiibo won't work, but if you flick them into Skylanders.
Oh, the Skylander, yeah.
If you be able to play, because you will be, all the other figures work on any system, or if just those figures will be the first console exclusive Skylanders.
Yeah, I mean, these Destiny addicts, they have it easy. Like, compared to, like, Skylanders addicts, like... Imagine that life, Ben.
At least with Destiny, the question is, like, are they ever going to correct this? Where with Toys to Life, it's like, you're always going to get screwed. There's nothing you can do about it. You just sign up and just take it.
Video games. You're always going to get screwed.
But I mean, it's merchandise. So that's always going to get you in the end.
Do you Do you see them collaborating more, Nintendo and Disney? Do you like that partnership?
I don't like that. I'm not a fan.
Explain why.
Because I mean, there's something I don't mind Nintendo appearing in Skylanders because like that seem I don't know. There's like a weird. You're really big on that, Kyle. Like context, you know, like how does it, you know, like who like is Bowser really in this world, or is he just kind of like did he show up for a photo shoot and they're using his likeness, or does he actually have the Wreck-It Ralph ability to traverse between video game universes and is somehow affecting the world?
You're totally
of
talking my
Skylanders
language
Supercharged?
right now. Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually another thing that's pretty awesome about Kingdom Hearts is they bend over backwards to explain
Yes.
why Mickey Mouse is doing this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's so context heavy.
Yeah.
More, more. There's more context in Kingdom Hearts than there is in like the Halo universe. Like there's a lot going on there.
Well, Mickey
But
Mouse and Mario both have the white gloves.
the vibe that I got with Infinity is that like we own these properties now. We own Star Wars. So Han Solo's like in our camp. Like,
Yes.
that might not make sense contextually for you, but like from a marketing sense, like he is in the Disney family. Whereas like Mario isn't. So if Mario was like, if I saw him in that library, like, oh, I'm next to like Mickey, and it's like, yeah, for like a day for that one deal that you made, but it's not, like I just don't get a vibe that like that's a sign of things to come. It would just remind me of that one weird deal you made that one year, that one quarter. Like, oh yeah, Q4 2015, that was great, as opposed to like no, like like Iron Man and Han Solo and like all these characters, like they are within the Disney umbrella. It may not make sense, for their worlds, but I do like that Disney's made that major investment to say that like no, we're making the creative decisions for this property regardless moving forward, not just like, oh yeah, that one time Mario stopped by.
Yeah.
It wouldn't mean as much to me. Like it wouldn't. He would. One of these things is not like the other. Every time I looked at those, it's like Yarn Yoshi. It's just any inconsistencies in the Toys to Life stuff bugs me.
Wait, what is the Yarn Yoshi? Oh, you mean that
There's no other amiibo like him. So it's like I don't care how cute he is. It doesn't look like an amiibo to me.
Oh, come on.
That's Brandon. That's the most controversial opinion you've ever had on this show.
At Game Trailers, yeah, that I don't like. It's like, how can you not?
How can you not like that
I
one?
love that whole story.
I just want it
that
like
was
right in front of me, and
direct.
I'm just like,
that
your
lady
cutest
that
out of here,
makes all of
movie
them.
world.
Sorry?
I love the story that was in the direct. The lady that makes all of them. And
Yeah.
like that's what inspired the amiibo. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brandon wants no part of that.
I love those.
It shouldn't exist.
Within
Is,
context, but on its own, it's freaking adorable, But like in the look in the big picture. Consistency.
Is Roger Rabbit in Disney Infinity?
No, but they got him. They could do it.
Oh my god, I would freak out.
Jessica Rabbit.
Can you imagine
and the
a
Weasels
Roger
and-
Rabbit playset?
Yeah,
I
man.
love Roger Rabbit so much.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Whoa, and
And the car would be easy. They should do
discover
car
something
first.
about Ian, yeah. The car would beat disc probably.
Jessica Rabbit, I'm a little uncomfortable with.
Way into it.
Like they're gonna have to like shrink her down. She can't be as tall as she is.
She's not bad. She's just drawn that way. Or wait, is that Cool World? No,
That's not Cool
no,
World.
Cool World. You remember Cool World?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so bad.
Isn't that? Am I thinking of the right? Is that by Brad Pitt in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's in it.
yeah.
No,
that
Jessica
movie.
Rabbit says she's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
All right, just remember we were not the ones who started that conversation.
I haven't spent a single cent on Disney Infinity. If they made a Roger Rabbit playset, and
I'd buy
Wow,
it.
why?
I'd go all in.
What is
That's
this
it.
attachment to Roger Rabbit?
It's
just-
one of the best films ever made. That's what.
What do you think is gonna make it a good playset in Disney
It
Infinity?
doesn't
okay.
matter.
Have you ever been to Toontown?
Yes.
I just love walking around there. It's
Love
just,
Toontown.
Everything is a joke.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just bad cartoon puns all the time. It makes me happy, Kyle. That's why
Yeah.
I want this playset.
You know what's sick is like the weird laptop that Minnie Mouse has in her house. Like I freaking love that.
That's what stuck out.
Yeah.
What the hell are you
Everything.
talking about?
I-
Kyle?
everything.
You can go into Minnie Mouse's house and she has a computer in there. Oh my God, Disneyland
That's
is.
how boss my
what
baby.
mental
He can mention
illness
something
do
in
you have?
Disneyland that I have to like. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
she
love-
does.
I
Okay.
love you.
Whoa.
I love you, Kyle.
Wow.
So let's talk
happened
about
to you?
We're
bets.
digging real deep in Disneyland lore.
Let's talk about some bets. Let's do some bets real quick. Here, this is a fun one. So next week, J-Star's Victory versus Plus is released. This is a cool mashup like manga character game.
Not cool.
It looks the cover art is cool.
Incorrect.
It's got Hunter x Hunter in there. Anyway, I'm going to go to GameRankings.com. I'm going to look at the 7 most recent reviews for the PS4 version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for all instances of the word Goku and all instances of the word Naruto. Which word will appear more frequently and by how much is the bet this week. I think that, Blood, you are the first to reveal this week.
All right. I'm gonna say Naruto up by 3.
I'm not going to allow you to say Naruto on this show.
Naruto up by 3.
Brandon, what's your bet?
Naruto up by 2.
Wow. I also said Naruto by 2.
I also said Naruto.
Things
That looks like
heating up.
down by 2, but
Yeah.
that's not what it is.
Okay, cool. I'm going to lock those in. We've never had that before. 3 people with the same bet. This is going to be good. I want to do Naruto by 1. I'm so mad I didn't. Oh my gosh. Someone's going to be like, Goku, 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 Goku. All right, cool. So those are locked in. Let's talk about last week's bet. How many names will appear in the opening credits of Batman Arkham Knight? Traditionally, like, pretty cool opening credits. This kind of continues that tradition. Not like, man, the one where, like, you're rolling in Joker into Arkham Asylum, that still has an impact on me.
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, and Arkham City is actually really cool. That's when you're a prisoner and you're kind of like going into the city. You know, this one's interesting at least. At least they continue surprising us. In the Super Seat, at least bet 30. Bloodworth bet 12 names would appear. Jones bet 16 names. I bet 28 names. The actual number of names in the opening credits is 144.
What?
Yes. Like
Yeah.
Full names?
their entire QA team, is in there. Like once we got like to quality assurance, and it's just like included 30 names from. It's like 28 names for quality assurance. I'm like, oh, we lost this bet.
Why would you do that on your opening credits?
144
It's like
names.
They wanted it to look like a cop TV show, I think. I saw that part.
Yeah, that's so many names. Like basically everyone is in these opening credits. And I didn't know whether to count Sefton Hill multiple times. Like, obviously it doesn't matter. Obviously it's way over 30. We would get into those technicalities if we needed to, but not necessary. That means Super Seat gets the point. So now,
Elise.
Oh, man.
yeah, that was Elise's bet. That was with 30. She was the high bet. So Super Seat now has 9. Bloodworth has 9. You two are tied. Jones has 3, and I have 5. Very close. Very close match. It could go anyway. So, Ben, what you get for that bet is you can promote any video you want to on our website, and also you get to close out the show with your trademark catchphrase.
Must be nice.
My trademark catchphrase. Okay. I feel bad promoting a video that I'm in, but
No, you're supposed to. You're
not
absolutely
like,
supposed to.
It's not massive on the site, so I think it'll be like not a lot of attention. But I really liked our conversation with it. I sat down with Kyle Bossman.
Okay.
It was just you and I. We talked about Mighty Number 9.
Okay,
I
cool.
think it was a good conversation, and it was, I think, a lot more positive than some of the stuff I've been seeing about Mighty Number 9. It's under Just Plays. Go check that out. I had a really good time.
Yeah, I've even on this show consistently made fun of Mighty Number 9, and so it was nice to sit down with Ben, who's positive on it, and have a good conversation.
I played it. And I liked it. I played
Yeah.
it at E3 actually.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
So I'm turned around. I'm now excited. I'm excited about Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
I like
so
the little
this one-
dash ability. It's fun. Something you gotta grab and just like dash over.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's just the right level of frantic. So now I sign us off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But remember to thank everybody for watching and
Yeah,
stuff like that first.
absolutely. Come
Yeah.
on. Thank you, everybody, for watching GT Time. This has been a wonderful show that has been depressing as well. You can find us on Twitter. That is at Kyle Bossman.
Wow.
He is at GameTrailersVO. He is at DBloodworth2. And I am... Oh, and at Ian Hink. I almost forgot. Thank you. And I am at BenMore035. And as always, please pay to win, and we'll see you next time.
That's a really good one.
I love.